Okay, so I'm going to present about the plugin architecture, and just remember a bit of the history and show the roadmap of what we are planning ahead. As you know, BigBlueButton is BigBlueButton 3.0 is becoming more like a platform, and we are really happy to see that developers can build plugins on top of it. And the idea of having the plugin architecture was presented in BigBlueButton World Conference 2023. And the first version was demonstrated in BigBlueButton Summit 2024. And now it's part of BigBlueButton 3.0. So it's 2 years from the concept to making it available to the world. And we feel it's like a gift for both us and for developers that have a reduced learning curve to start building on BigBlueButton. And also, we believe it makes BigBlueButton more accessible in terms of, in order to develop a plugin, you don't need like a super powerful computer. It's a simple React application. If you run it locally in your machine using the ngrok setup that we have in README, you can do it with a very simple computer. So we see it as a way of creating opportunities. Developers can make money on top of it, can get jobs as freelancers and build on top of BigBlueButton. So it's really good for us as professional companies to be able to extend BigBlueButton without modifying the core, but we see it as a way to generate opportunities to other developers to create proof of concepts, to make money and things like that. So it's really, really nice. So in terms of the roadmap, one thing that is missing that we need to address is the BBB version compatibility. Now, if you create a plugin, it's obviously compatible with BBB 3.0. That's the only version that supports the plugins. But we are in active development of BigBlueButton 3.1, and probably new features will come, and we will eventually need a way to let the plugin specify if it was tested with BigBlueButton 3.0, 3.1, and so on. And I believe that one plugin can have one version that's compatible with BigBlueButton 3.0 and another version that's compatible with BigBlueButton 3.1. And having it specified in the manifest file will allow the third-party application to decide which plugin to use, which plugin version to use accordingly with the target BigBlueButton server. Also, I can imagine some plugins being compatible with any BigBlueButton version if they use only the features that are available from the beginning. So it's only a matter of specifying the tested BigBlueButton versions. So this is something we will add really soon. Another thing that was requested by Richard, that is working on some professional integrations of BigBlueButton, of the blind-side network infrastructure, is to add a new parameter that's plugin manifest provider URL. Basically, now when you create a meeting, you specify if you want to use 3, 4, or 5 plugins, you specify 3, 4, or 5 plugin manifest URLs. And Richard came with a really nice idea that's allowing you to specify an endpoint that you call, and this endpoint will return to you the list of manifests of the plugins you want to load. So this will make the integration in these scenarios easily. We will continue supporting the previous way, so there will be 2 ways of specifying the plugins. One is specifying the plugins directly on the room creation or in the server configuration. The other one is providing this address, and this address will return a list of plugins to be loaded. This is a bigger project. It's my current let's say innovation on BigBlueButton plugin architecture that is allowing you to create an external server-side plugin. Basically, we will add a new property in the manifest file, and this property will specify an HTTP endpoint. So whenever a meeting is created in the server will call this remote address, providing the GraphQL server and credentials. So this external application can connect back to BigBlueButton with the credentials, and the credentials will only allow the plugin to access the information of the meeting that the plugin is running on. So really secure. And in this way, you can have, let's imagine a node application that will be notified, hey, there is a new room. And this node application will be able to connect to GraphQL and say, yeah, I want the chat message. And this way, this node application can call ChatGPT or something and inject messages back to the meeting. Other use cases can be content moderation. Well, if someone is talking some bad words, it can restrict the user, like lock settings, lock the chat, or even kick the user out of the meeting. So this will allow us to have, and several other use cases. Let's say you can subscribe to know when a new stream is available and make live transcription of this stream, or call a remote endpoint and do the translation, injecting a new audio stream into BigBlueButton. You will be able to do anything that the client can do, but from the server side in an automated and real-time way. So this is not a simple project. It's a bigger project, but we believe that this will allow to cover all use cases that we are seeing presented by the community and by people willing to create plugins. And another idea that came during this week is allowing to chain the data of the plugins, because as BigBlueButton is a platform, we can have one plugin generate live transcriptions using AI. So imagine this meeting, I'm talking, an AI could be generating the live transcriptions, and we can have a second plugin consuming these live transcriptions and generating a real-time summary of the meeting in the shared notes. So basically, the way we developed the plugins, the plugin runs into a sandbox. So it only sees the data generated by itself. With this plugin data channel, we want to allow a plugin to say, yeah, I have plugin data chaining. We want to allow a plugin to say, hey, I have this data channel and this is exposed. So another plugin can subscribe to it and receive the information. So this is a new feature that we're going to create. It's in early stages, so it's just the idea of allowing to have 2, 3, 4 plugins in a meeting and allow the data generated by them to be chained. Of course, we need to get into details as the development will continue. But it's something we believe it's needed in order to allow more and more plugins to interact to each other, because we believe that BigBlueButton as a platform, we will have different flavors of BigBlueButton with very powerful plugins, turning BigBlueButton in very powerful different tools. And by allowing the developers to chain the data, we avoid duplicated work. So each plugin can be specialized in solving one problem. That's it. And also the plugin marketplace. IMDT will be creating a website that will officially we discussing with the BigBlueButton Foundation. So we'll have a website, an official website that will allow developers to submit free and paid plugins, and also allow the users to rate the plugins, so give star numbers and things like that, and also allow system administrator to connect their systems with the plugin marketplace. So let's say you get an account in the marketplace, you will get a specific discovery URL, and then in your third-party integration, you can browse for the plugins you have. No matter if it's free or paid, you will be able to have the plugin available in your session. So this is our current view of future for the plugin architecture. Of course, there are several small improvements that we want to do, creating new methods, new hooks, new ways to interact with the BigBlueButton. But these are the big projects that we see ahead in terms of plugin architecture.